As part of this initiative, we're collaborating with the Manatee County Sheriff's Department, the City of Bradenton, and the Police Athletic League to provide support for improving the area around Lecom. This expansion will not only bring extra lit, publicly accessible ball diamonds and parking, but also significantly boost the local economy and transform the neighborhood by directly benefiting underprivileged youth in the area.
The Manatee County Utilities Department does way more than manage the distribution of clean drinking water. Reliable utilities can attract businesses and industries to our area, contributing to economic growth and job creation. Not only is Manatee County continuing to expand services for our taxpayers with the addition of 75 new lift stations over the next 5 years, but we're also looking to improve it. We're in the process of constructing Florida's largest low-pressure membrane filtration facility at our Lake Manatee water treatment plant, which will result in consistent water quality. And our spillway replacement project will ensure improved dam safety, enhanced flood management, and increased resilience for anything that Mother Nature throws our way.
Thank you for giving us the chance to provide you with a clear vision for our beautiful county. Please feel free to email any of the commissioners featured in this video by going to mymanatee.org/vision. From our award-winning beaches to the expansion of our convention center, it's with your support that we'll continue to make Manatee County the premier place to live, work, and play.
I'm not sure where you want it, but there is enough slack.
Yeah, man, thanks.
The connection is a little more loose than the other ones.
Yeah, what I was doing is I was moving my screen, it was disconnecting everything.
Sure.
All right. The May 2nd Board of County Commissioners Land Use Meeting. It's another wonderful day here in Manatee County. And as we always do here in Manatee County, we start our meetings by worshiping our God and pledging allegiance to our great country. So what I'd like to ask to do is that we would all stand. I'd like to ask Commissioner Ballard if she would say the invocation, and then Commissioner Cruz with the pledge. Thank you.
Lord, thank you for this beautiful day here in Manatee County. Thank you for bringing us here and help us to make decisions for the good of our entire community. Amen.
Thank you.
Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you both. Appreciate it. Matt, Ms. Knapp, is there any updates to the agenda?
Good morning, Commissioners. The agenda was updated late last night, and there have been no additional changes since then.
All right, thank you, ma'am. What I'd like to do at this moment is we'd like to open up the agenda for public comment. This is for future agenda items only, nothing that's on today's agenda. And if you're interested in coming forward, I don't think we have any speakers signed up, but if there is something you'd like to talk about on a future agenda item, please step forward. You need to state your name, county of residence, and you would have 3 minutes. All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public comment. Next is public comment on consent items only, which is on the consent agenda today. And if there is any items that anyone would like to speak about on the consent agenda, you can please step forward, state your name and county of residence, and you'd have 3 minutes. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public comment on the consent agenda. Are there any items that want to be pulled by the chair, by any of the commissioners on consent?
No.
No.
Thank you very much. All right. What I'll look for is a motion. There's a motion to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Ballard, a second by Commissioner Cruz. As everyone could cast their votes at this time. And the consent agenda carries 5-0 with Commissioner Bearden absent. All right, let's move on to advertised public hearings. This is presentations upon request. Ms. Knapp, can you read item 7 into the record? And first, is there any ex parte? No, this is county initiated, sorry. Ms. Knapp, can you read number 7 into the record, please?
Item number 7 is LDCT 2312, Ordinance 2407. This is a county-initiated Land Development Code text amendment, and this is the adoption hearing to amend the code, Chapter 2, definitions, Chapter 4 regarding zoning, Chapter 5 regarding standards for accessory and specific uses and structures, and Chapter 10 regarding transportation, all as it relates to food trucks, and to add food truck units as an accessory and temporary use, to add food truck parks as a use in specific zoning districts, and to set forth specific use criteria for food truck units and food truck parks applicable to parking standards. As much as this is the adoption hearing, I'd like to point out, and maybe Charlie Andrews, the principal planner on the project, could come forward and put something on the doc cam for you. With the update memo yesterday, there was one section that was added which referenced pre-exemptions to temporary use permits in 521.13a. I realize you're not pulling it for a presentation, but I'd like the camera to pick up on the highlighted area that it was added yesterday in error. We need to strike it from the exhibit. It'll go back to how you last saw it at the last hearing. No, the text from the ordinance. I apologize, Charlie. Yeah, 521.13.
Mr. Chair, I can read it into the record. 521.13a reads, a temporary use permit should not be required for food trucks and is preempted by Section 509.102 Florida statute. That's not necessary to be in there, and I suggest to be deleted because they had delayed last night. So the version you're voting on is the version that was in the first update memo. Just added a little bit about landscaping.
Okay. All right. So will the motion that's out there need to be amended, or are we just good the way it is?
It's good the way it is.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll look. Has there been? If no one wants to pull it, we're great. So Looking for a motion to approve, moved by Commissioner Cruz, seconded by Commissioner Turner. If everyone could cast their votes now on the food trucks. All right, the motion carries 5-0 with Commissioner Buren being absent. Thank you.
And Mr. Chair,
Yes,
when
ma'am.
before we do A through 10, can you go ahead and ask for exploit communications and
Yes.
swear people in?
Yeah. I didn't know if I needed to do that on a text amendment.
I'm in after that one.
yes,
Yeah, I'm
ma'am.
after the text.
All right, Ms. Knapp, could you read number 8 into the record, please?
Item number 8 is PDR 2326ZG, Lakewood Ranch Parcel J, SMR Northeast. And this is a rezone of approximately 84.5 acres, generally located at the southeast corner of State Road 64 and Uline Road, extending east to Lighterwood Trail from A, general agricultural, to planned development residential zoning, and approving a general development plan for 759 residential units, 600 being multifamily and 62 being single-family attached, and 97 single-family detached. And your staff presenter, should you need one, is Ms. Loretta Merrill.
All right, thank you. Is there any ex parte? Thank you very much. Would anybody like a presentation? No presentation is required. There's been the motion is up on the board. There's been a motion by Commissioner Cruz to approve.
So, Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
can we just make sure the board has no exploit communications before we vote?
Yeah, I asked if there was any ex parte.
Did, okay.
Yes, ma'am, I did. There's been a motion by Commissioner Cruz, a second by Commissioner Ballard. Everyone can cast their votes now. The motion carries 5-0 with Commissioner Buren being absent. Ms. Knapp, can you read number 9 into the record, please?
Item number 9 is Z2334. It's Tibisay, Josefina, Perez, De Osina rezone. A rezone of approximately 0.15 acres from residential single-family 4.5 dwelling units to the acre coastal planning area to residential single-family 6, again retaining the coastal planning area zoning district, located approximately a quarter mile north of the intersection of 26th Avenue East and 15th Street East in Bradenton. And your staff presenter, should you need one, is Natalie. Chair Prusio. Sorry, Natalie.
Is there any ex parte on item number 9?
No.
Thank you.
But
All right.
I'm on the board though.
Yeah, you're on the board?
Yeah.
All right. There's public comment, so I need to open up for public comment, correct?
Yeah. I don't want it pulled, but I just want to. This is one of only 2 of these on this entire agenda that I actually talked to people about in our briefing. This one kind of, look, I hate minimum lot sizes. I think it's just regulation on top of other regulation. We already have setbacks. We already have parking requirements. We already have open space requirements. If you can fit a house and adhere to all the rest of our LDC, many of which I'm not a big fan of anyway, then this seems a little silly. I mean, we seem like we were in a position where we could approve an ADU that was 500 to 600% higher than our rule, but we couldn't approve administratively a piece of property that was 8% smaller than what's in our rules. Like, I asked how long this took and how much it cost, and I was told it took 12 months to get to this point for this zoning and cost $6,000 for somebody to use a piece of property they bought to build a house with their own money on it effectively in the middle of nowhere. Like, this wasn't going to affect anyone's life. I was a little upset that our rules are so strict when we want it to be, that we made these people go through this. So not only does this need to be approved, but I would actually like to look into making sure we can refund them the money that they spent to get a rezone that I feel was unnecessary.
Thank you, Commissioner. I also agree with you. I think some of this stuff could be administratively done. This type of stuff, rezone doesn't need to go through the whole process when it's simply a very simple rezone. So I don't disagree with you on that. Commissioner Ballard?
I agree, and I would also like to see that money refunded.
Is that action that we need to take on, or is it staff?
Staff would have to look at their fee schedule and consider it. Nicole, if you have any comment on that.
We do it. It's outlined in the adopted fee schedule that you all approved as how much money can be returned after we get through certain stages of the process. So at this stage, none of the money would be refunded, but I would imagine a motion by the board with direct action would contradict that.
Okay.
And trump that.
I'll make that motion when you approve it.
Okay.
I don't know what order you want that.
Do you want to go ahead and make that motion on cutting back whatever, and then and then would we go ahead with the regular motion on the?
Well, I think we should first vote of the main motion.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Get that done.
There is one individual for public comment, Daniel Hernandez. Sir, please step forward, state your name, county residence, and you have 3 minutes, sir.
My name is Daniel Hernandez, and I own 2107 15th Street East. The only thing I just want to know is when they do the...
Have you been sworn?
No.
No, I'm sorry. I need to swear. If you're going to speak today, we might as well get it out of the way right now. If you're going to speak on any item today that is on the agenda, please stand and be sworn in. We usually do this on presentation schedule, but kind of out of order. If you're going, can you stand, sir? You need to. Are you going to speak today, sir? You had your hand up. The gentleman behind you.
Who?
Your gentleman was sitting with you. He had his hand up. I don't know if he was.
Oh, no, that was...
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. Go ahead, clerk.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I just wanted to know, like, with the utilities, is that any going to affect the property that is right there, the 2107 15th Street, to when they start building that house, I guess they're trying to build there? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir. We don't bounce back and forth, but the staff now has your comments, so someone from staff will follow up with you on that, on your questions.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. Seeing that, anyone else like to come forward and public comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll go ahead, and there is a motion. It's not up? Okay, there it is. All right, the motion the motion has been made by Commissioner Cruz, seconded by Commissioner Turner. If you'll cast your votes now. The motion carries 5-0 with Commissioner Bearden being absent. All right.
And I don't know how to word the other half of it.
Can-
Just direct development services to give them back the money that they should.
Before you do that, can we hear from the staff? I unfortunately was unaware of the conversation that's taking place. I would like Ms. Rachel to speak on the matter of the rezoning if she could. I don't know if she has additional information that wasn't shared at the briefing of why the rezone was necessary.
Ms. Layton.
Good morning, Rachel Layton for staff. I have been sworn. I'm a resident of Manatee County. So as I understand the application, the minimum lot size was not met with the proposed lot that they purchased at the courthouse steps. It is an unfortunate happenstance in many jurisdictions where we find that a property does not meet the land development code regulations, and then that property owner is then asked to go through the public hearing process. I do believe that the county commission can make a motion to refund their fees for the process. I do understand Commissioner Cruz's comment of, is there another way that we can look at this for reduction when there is this type of situation? So we will look at that. And then to answer the question from the resident, there should not be a disruption of service for the new home to be connected to the same utility service, but they'll have to get their building permits and their utility connection through the county through permitting.
Okay, all right.
So I hope that addresses the commission questions.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, Commissioner Cruz has a motion on, it's been seconded by Commissioner Ballard to direct developmental services to refund the cost or the amount that was spent. I believe it was $6,000, something wrong, whatever that amount was, to refund that back to the applicant. So I guess we just want to do that by verbal. Sure. Okay. All right. All those in favor of Commissioner Cruz's motion to direct developmental services to refund the cost of the amount of the rezone back to the applicant, signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? No. The motion carries 5-0 with Commissioner Bearden being absent. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ms. Knapp, can you read item 10 into the record, please?
Item number 10 is Z2327 3012 land rezone Julie S. and Michael D. Johnson. This is a rezone of approximately 5 acres, generally located approximately 450 feet south of the intersection of Old Tampa Road and Phillips Road, from A, general agricultural, to A1, agricultural suburban. And your staff presenter, should you need one, is James McDevitt.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any ex parte on this, on item number 10? Oh, seeing none. It doesn't look like we want a presentation. There is a motion on the board. It's been moved by Commissioner Ballard, seconded by Commissioner Cruz. As everyone would please cast their votes now. Motion carries 5-0 with Commissioner Bearden being absent. Ms. Knapp, can you read item number 11 under scheduled presentations? Can you read item number 11 into the record, please?
Item number 11 is PDC 2350P University Car Wash. This is approving a preliminary site plan for a car wash facility, approximately 3,800 square feet on approximately 0.82 acres. The site is currently zoned PDC, Plan Development Commercial Airport Impact Overlay, and lies within the university at 301 Entranceway Special District and the Mixed Use Future Land Use category, generally located at the northeast corner of University Parkway and Shade Avenue, approximately half a mile east of US 301, having an address of 8490 Shade Avenue. And your staff presenter is Ms. Rosina Leiter.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any ex parte on item number 11? Nope, seeing none. Thank you. Applicant?
And Mr. Chair, while he's coming down, I just wanted to make it clear that all the documents and testimony entered the record at the public hearing held by the board on March 7th, 2024 are incorporated herein by reference.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Since she said that, I won't go through it all again. For the record, I'm Scott Rudisil, here on behalf of the applicant, and I have been sworn. With me today, I have Matt Britton and Wright Bars from Brightwork. Also have Jay Shade from Big Dan, so if there are any questions about the operational, how the site functions, he will be here to answer those. I have Michael Yates here to answer the traffic questions, and then we have Brett Neville with Infinity Engineering. All right. You all remember the site, so I'm going to flip through these pretty quickly. This is the aerial: University and Shade, northwest corner, zone PDC, MU, future land use category. This is the surrounding development. Previous approved site plan for this site was the bank. All right, this is the site, and I'm going to get right into, because the issues that were raised regarding the access. We have gone back and designed the access improvements now within Shade Avenue. And so what you will see here that was added, there is now a dedicated left turn lane into the site. The other thing that was done was the site is designed to accommodate not only the through lane with the right turn and the dedicated left southbound onto Shade, but with the right-of-way that will be dedicated by this project, there is enough right-of-way for a right turn lane. So if the county wants to add that right turn lane, that is something that could be done. This has been reviewed by staff, so this has been designed within the right-of-way that will be given with the project. There are also questions about stacking, and so we actually ended up taking Commissioner Turner's suggestion. We turned the vacuum unit. That did free up some space. So now there's a channelized exit lane, which added more room for stacking. We have 14 stacking spaces now on the site. 10 are required for a car wash. So we are exceeding the code requirements for stacking on this site. I think the other thing that is important to mention, especially for some of you that are members at the Big Dan's in Lakewood Ranch, this site will be a little bit different in that it is going to have the continuous belt. So the cars are constantly moving through the unit, so there's no, you don't stop unless, you know, there's a car in front of you, but there's multiple cars in the tunnel.
That too.
What's that?
Got that too.
You've got the...
We
We both have members.
You've got the track, which is a little bit different, but
Come on, Scott. It's Lakewood Ranch. Of course they have that.
now Jay's going to have to put in a belt on Lakewood Ranch. It also, one thing that's different from a normal drive-through, this is a membership-based concept. So you come in, you have the plate reader, and you go right through. You're not stopping and putting in credit card information and making selections at the kiosk. So, and then lastly, we did talk about this some last time, but just a comparison, we put numbers to it. What we're proposing compared to the prior approved use, and then comparing to what we think are likely other potential users of this site. And so we think, amongst the options here, this is one of the better uses for the site in terms of the trip generation. So that's all I've got. I'm happy to go back through any of the stuff from the prior presentation if you would like me to. We have our folks here to answer questions, but with that, we're asking for your approval. Thank you.
All right, hang on. Commissioner Cruz.
Yeah, I had two concerns last time, one of which had to do with the stacking, and you seemingly resolved that. I'm not an expert, but I mean, it's certainly an improvement to what it was last time, plus you have the turn lane, a little more stacking opportunity. I was never overly concerned. I know a lot of our emails had to do with the traffic, but to your point, I mean, car washes don't use the same level of traffic. There may be little peak times for a 2-hour window on a Saturday that they do, but a vast majority of the time, it's not a fairly consistent traffic problem. My other issue had to do with the seemingly endless list of stipulations and requests to cram this in, and that's where I mainly focused last time. I just said on a previous one, I'm not a big fan of all these regulations, but there are some that are necessary, not because of the owner of the current property, but the owner of the adjacent properties and neighbors. Last time you came in and presented us with a letter from the apartment complex, but it was the former owner of it. They've since sold it. You've now had a few months. Did you go to the new owner and ask them for a letter saying that they also approve of a loud car wash and lots of cars coming in close proximity to whatever cabanas or splash pads or anything else you're going to build immediately on the other side of this tunnel with the fancy belt?
Yes, we actually did do that. It's now owned by the Collier companies, which took a little bit of time to work through, but I actually just got that letter during the meeting today. So I have forwarded that on to Bobby. I don't know if she is able to pull it up, but I do.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
You're under sworn testimony. This is an important place.
Yes.
So you have a letter from the current owner who's going to be building and have economic interest in that apartment that they're okay with this.
Yeah, that they support the project. Yes.
Okay. I'm actually okay with that.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Got it, sir? Thank you. I'm on the board. Scott, I got a quick question for you. Okay. The car wash hours of operation are going to be from like, what, 8 a.m. to like 6 p.m. every day, or?
Tell you what.
That was later than that.
7:30 to 7:30.
Hold on.
Okay. And then is that every day of the week, including Sundays, or is it just Monday through Saturday?
That's every day of the week.
Every day of the week?
Step forward to the mic.
This ain't Chick-fil-A.
I'm on the record. Oh, sir, you got to be on the record if you're going to speak. Sorry. I'm on the record.
So it's 7:30.
Please state your name and your that you have been sworn and county residence.
Jay Shaddy, and I've been sworn in. I'm not a county resident.
Okay. Just state where you're from.
Rome, Georgia.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. 7:30 to 7:30, Monday through Sunday.
Monday through Sunday? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Scott, I got one more question for you. The peak hours in it that you're showing here, PM peak, that's every day of the week, correct? Saturdays and Sundays, because Saturdays are going to be better. Saturdays are going to be more busier than a Wednesday. So I know Mr. Yates is just ready to jump out of his seat. So does that include the peak hours of 78 trips? That includes every day of the week, including the big peak hours on Saturday and maybe even on Sunday.
No, my understanding is that the PM peak hour calculation is your your rush hour during the week.
During the week.
So it's intended to be the time when you're going to have the most background traffic, and that's why the county is looking at those hours.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Any other questions of the applicant? Seeing none, staff, you're up.
Good morning, Rosina Laya, by the staff, and it has been sworn. As the applicant stated, they improved the access and they improved the queue lanes. And I don't know if you have specific questions. The rest of the project to the south, the layout didn't change. All the specific approvals are applicable and staff supported, as I explained before, but if you need additional information, I am willing to present it.
Anybody need a presentation again from staff?
And I would like to remember that one of the specific approvals were applicable because the process was long with this project, and we switched the regulation for car wash with more stricter regulations. And also at the time that the application started, the project to the east, to the west, where the residential wasn't in place, wasn't approved. I don't know if you have specific questions.
Statement.
Commissioner Turner.
So, Rosina, this could be easily zoned, and we could put a McDonald's there, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So
It's rezoned PDC, and any retail commercial is allowed. They have to go back to the board because it's PD.
And so, as far as I can see in the area, there's not another car wash there, so this serves a good need, correct?
I don't live in the area, but I think that it's going to be served the residents to the adjacent property.
I guess my statement is I think we're past the traffic concern, and this car wash serves a greater need in the community, so I think it's a good fit.
Let me point out something. The property adjacent to the west, the apartment complex, they reduced the buffer that was required for a residential adjacent to a commercial parcel. They have to have 15 feet green belt buffer, and they request specific approvals. And the applicant is trying in that section of the parcel to increase the required buffer. They have to provide 10, and they provide 15.
Okay.
On this side.
So they've done everything they can to make it fit.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions, staff? All right, seeing none, thank you, Rosina. Thank you very much. What we'll do next is we'll open the item number 11 up for public comment. I have one speaker, Ms. Saranda Miranda? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name, county residence, and you have been sworn.
I'm Sandra Miranda. My county of residence is Manatee, and I have been sworn.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm a resident of Soleil, a community of over 300 single-family and condo homes at the end of Shade Avenue. I'm also a member of its governing board, the Groves. I'm urging you to vote to deny the variances requested and prohibit this car wash as currently proposed, based on the size of the project and the negative impact it will have on traffic at this already problematic intersection. This is essentially a residential neighborhood. We are served by two main roads, Shade Avenue exiting on University Parkway and Broadway exiting on Tuttle. At present, the only traffic signal is at the Shade Avenue intersection. At the corner of Shade and University, right across from the entrance to the proposed car wash, is a 27,000 square foot medical complex. The new apartment complex with 5 buildings started construction on Shade Avenue last week. In addition to this new apartment complex and Soleil with its 300-plus residences, other residential developments in our neighborhood that rely on these roads include Bella Grove, 180 units, Aloro, 183 units, the Harrison, 240 units, University Groves, 103 single-family homes, Serenata, 240 units, and San Michelle, 130 units. Assuming at least 200 units in the new apartment complex, that's 1,600-plus residences, each with 1 or 2 cars, plus the medical complex, using the Shade Avenue intersection to access University Parkway. We could also point out that the shape of Shade Avenue at this intersection is irregular. and the road itself has been poorly maintained, which makes turns on and off this road awkward and challenging, some say quite dangerous. The car wash plan as proposed cannot help but cause more congestion there and make the situation worse. I'm therefore respectfully asking you that you vote to deny the variances requested and prohibit this car wash as currently proposed. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, any other questions for applicant or staff? Seeing none. Applicant, any closing comments?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Rebuttal?
I do have this letter now, which Bobby was nice enough to print off, so I will put that into the record from Collier Companies.
Yeah, we did trust you. Staff, Roseanne, you have anything?
I would like to point out that the site is located with the MU future land use category that is one of the future land use categories that allow the maximum floor area ratio and is intended for major centers of urban or suburban activities and also for mixed use in the version of vertical or horizontal integration. And the project is in front of one of the major arterials of the county, that is the University Parkway.
All right, thank you. On the board, I have Commissioner Cruz.
Yeah, I just want to let people look. When this came back on the agenda, I was ready to come in here and fight. I pushed on it last time, and for good reason. I think there were some issues with it, who the current owner was next door, what was going on with the traffic, or the entry points. But they did what they were supposed to do, and this is a commercial property. This isn't a question of, is this ag that's going to stay as a park or become, it's going to become something. It's one of our main commercial nodes in the entire county. It's on University. Every other corner has taco shops and Wawas and everything else. Something's going there, and this isn't a new one. This isn't like, hey, you know, we just added a road to a thoroughfare and created commercial. This has been a commercial node since I was a kid. It's just a matter of when it was going to get built. And to Commissioner Turner's point, this could be a McDonald's. This could be all kinds of things, which would be worse. I mean, it would probably smell worse. It would probably have more traffic, more noise, more people loitering around in parking lots. A car wash is actually a pretty decent use for it if you're a neighbor. I get the traffic. We hear that. That's a case all over because we're still trying to get ahead of infrastructure. But at the end of the day, this is an acceptable use in a property that honestly, car washes really are. We hear people call things neighborhood commercial all the time, and I'm like, it's not really. Car washes actually are. I mean, people typically don't drive more than a couple of miles from my house to go to car wash. That's why there's 12 of them on my road. And they're all full because that's where people go. I wasn't a huge fan how it was first done, but you guys did a good job. I appreciate you stepping out and asking for a continuance, fixing it, listening to this board, talking to the neighbor, and actually hearing what we're saying, and I made the motion to approve it. I think this is perfectly acceptable use.
Thank you, sir. I'm on the board. I'll echo much of what Commissioner Cruz did say. I voted against this the first time, basically based on traffic, the traffic issue we're going to have there. There is a light going in. It's being built right now. The infrastructure's in at Broadway and Tuttle. So that will help with some of that traffic right there as far as the neighbors being able to come out and turn on the Tuttle, left or right, and go right to go to University. Anything can go there. I mean, it could be a Starbucks, which gets 1 car per 30 seconds. So imagine that back up there. And fast food's going to be even worse than a car wash should be. So I will be in favor of this motion also. And the motion's been made by Commissioner Cruz, seconded by Commissioner Turner. If anyone cast their votes at this time. And the motion carries 5-0 with Commissioner Bearden being absent. Seeing no other action being needed in the other presentations, we'll move to County Attorney. Madam Attorney, you have any comments on anything?
No, no comments.
Okay. Ms. Knapp, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Under Commissioner agenda items, Commissioner Cruz has an item that he would like to bring forward, proposed ballot initiative for existing environmental land tax.
Yeah.
Commissioner Cruz, it's yours.
Yeah, nobody else from staff came down, but I told them this was somewhat informal. I mean, we probably should have a motion as to it. Here's why I put it on, and I don't like putting things on last minute, but we're kind of under a time crunch now, so this is a little time sensitive. We approved this environmental land tax in 2020 I said the minute I got on this board that the ballot resolution was terribly written, that the math didn't work. The millage we were charging compared to what we put in as maximum bonding just didn't make logical sense. I mean, capping us at $50 million when we're charging a 0.15 mil was ludicrous, and it allowed for too much of his money to float out to other things. We are now, the reason this came up now is, one, based on Florida statute, we have to put things on real ballots. And two, we're dealing with a situation where we're seeing a lot of great opportunities, but they're large opportunities. These aren't $1 to $2 million little parcels. These are Crooked River. These are Emerson Point. And now we're dealing with a situation with Rattlesnake Key, and we're stuck because we can't even bond enough if we decide to go outside of the state based on other commitments. And we've already bonded 35 of the theoretical 50 we're capped at based on that ballot. And then I looked at Sarasota. They originally passed this in '99 with a $53 million cap, and they subsequently expanded it to $250 million to give themselves the flexibility when good opportunities present themselves. I was hoping we could do this as a board, even with a supermajority. I've worked with Sheila and with Alex, and they reached out to Charlie Hackney, and everyone's been starting this process to look into it. Because it was in the original ballot that we had a cap of up to $50 million, it has to go back on a ballot for the public to allow us to expand that ceiling to allow us more capacity to buy these great opportunities we're seeing. So before I had everyone running, because it has to be in by August 19th, I think, and it says it takes about 90 days to do, so we're really like at that cusp. Before I expended staff time, I wanted to bring this in front of the board to make sure that we had some buy-in here from the board to authorize staff to write a resolution to put on a ballot initiative to have the public vote to allow us to increase our bonding capacity under the environmental millage to $250 million. That's it. It's not a single penny of additional tax. It's not changing the millage. All it's doing is giving us more capacity. Sheila looked into these numbers. She said in current situation, based on current rates and current collections, we're probably around 150 to 200 million of bonding capacity. We figured given the cushion of 250, rates start going down, collections start going up, it at least gives us the cushion so a subsequent future board doesn't have to come back and do this again.
Commissioner Van Osterbridge.
I mean, I'm not opposed to what I'm hearing, but I'd like to be briefed on it before, and maybe we can hold the vote in our next meeting.
Like I said, this isn't a vote to put it on the ballot. This is just literally buy-in so that I'm not expending staff time if the board isn't on board with it. I don't want to waste our taxpayer time or our staff time. All this is doing is directing Sheila and Alex and staff just to write the draft, and it'll go on the next meeting, and we can have a full discussion of the language and whether or not we want to do it. I just want to make sure people are okay with the concept so I can have them spend some staff time on it.
I'd like to be briefed on it by staff to know if I'm okay with the concept first.
I'm in agreement.
In agreement on?
In agreement on at least letting staff expend some time to write a potential resolution to put it on the ballot.
I think that would help us with the debrief too, so I'm in support of it also.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Madam Attorney?
Yeah, with the assistance of Assistant County Attorney Alex Sicadome and the Interim County Attorney, we did rough out a motion. It doesn't authorize anything other than just do the homework and bring it back.
Correct.
I could read it in the record just to lay it down the table.
Please do.
Yeah, could you? Yeah, could you read it into?
And you have to be briefed, more detail, and more homework has to be done on it. It'll be, I move to direct financial management staff and the county attorney's office to prepare a resolution to be brought back to the board to provide for additional bonding capacity, subject to approval of a bond referendum election, to enable the county to pay the costs of conservation and parks programs. I left it very general, and the details have to be worked out.
Okay, so all we're doing is just authorizing staff just to do some homework and bring it back to, and then do the homework and brief the commissioners.
Check with bond counsel, crunch numbers for you.
Correct. Yeah.
Commissioner Van Osterbridge?
So moved.
As long as you included briefings in your statement, so
Yep.
as long as briefings are included, I'm happy.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll second the motion.
All right. All right, so we have the motion.
It's not up. Oh, there it is.
There it is. It's up now. All right. There's been a motion, and it was read into the record by Assistant County Attorney Ms. Shank. So it was moved by Commissioner Cruz, second by Commissioner Ballard. If everyone could cast their votes now. And the motion carries 5-0 with Commissioner Bearden being absent. Are there any other commissioner comments? Commissioner Van Asselbridge? Commissioner Ballard? Nope. Baby Ballard? Commissioner Turner?
I'm just impressed.
Commissioner Cruz? All right, thank you very much. With that being done, we are adjourned.